In part 4, The Voyage to the Land of the Winds, the normally unreliable, funny, haha, unreliable Gulliver becomes unreliable in multiple ways, some of them dark and dangerous. He is, first of all, mad. He is a little crazy, or more than a little crazy. So we find him at the end when he, in chapter 12, he returns to London. He's refusing to speak to his wife. He's stuffing his nose with various herbs, rue, tobacco, so he won't smell other human beings. He's preferring horses to people. And you can, on the one hand, this is a joke, ha ha ha, horses, you can trust horses. Horses are better than people. On the other hand, that's coming from a character whose judgment is being cast in real doubt, who's behaving eccentrically in ugly ways, who's ignoring his own wife and children, who loathes his own wife and children. That isn't funny. It is perhaps funny in chapter 11 when some European sailors rescue him and he's ranting still about the Yahoos and the Winhams and doesn't want to see any human people, but he's also speaking in a voice that imitates a neigh. He's like, I don't want to be. Okay, that's ridiculous. Yet again, Gulliver is to be laughed at. And if here we're going to, on the one hand, Wyndham Land with its critique of European behavior and its utopian ideal of a kind of reasonable rural gentry who live on simply the necessities and never disagree, is meant seriously, but also comes from a character who's been heavily ironized, who is not trustworthy, who won't talk to his wife and children, who speaks in a neighing voice, who is more than a little crazy. All that said, let me turn to the end of chapter 10 of part 4, where it's darker than that. He is this is page 258 of our edition, very close to the end of that chapter. Gulliver is preparing his canoe to go home with the help of his friend and fellow servant, the sorrel nag. I returned home and consulting with the sorrel nag, we went to the copse at some distance, where I with my knife and he with a sharp flint fastened very artificially after their manner to a wooden handle, cut down several oak wattles about the thickness of a walking staff and some larger pieces. This is Gulliver's habit of giving you lots of kind of granular detail of stuff that doesn't matter. But I shall not trouble the reader with a particular description of my own mechanics. Let it suffice to say that in 6 weeks' time, with the help of the sorrel nag, who performed the parts that required most labor, I finished a sort of Indian canoe, but much larger, covering it with the skins of yahoos well stitched together, with hempen thread of my own making. My sail was likewise composed of the skins of the same animal, but I made use of the youngest I could get, the older being too tough and thick, and I likewise provided myself with 4 paddles. I laid in a stock of boiled flesh, of rabbits and fowls, and took with me 2 vessels, one filled with milk, the other with water. And he moves along, and then I got some paddles, and I got some boiled rabbit and chicken or pheasant, and I got some milk and some water to survive in my canoe. My canoe covered with human skin, the skins of yahoos. And here is irony that we're supposed to pick up on. If you don't pick up on the irony of Gulliver's unreliability and stupidity in part 1, you simply missed most of the good jokes. If you miss Gulliver's unreliability and don't notice the level of irony here in part 4, if you take Gulliver straight, you're going along with someone who is also a monster, who has made his boat out of human skins and made a sail out of the skins of the same animal, that animal being Homo sapiens, humanity, except the youngest he could get. His sailcloth is made of children. Don't blame me. That's what the text says. He doesn't say humans. He says it's the skins of yahoos. They're just yahoos. He uses yahoo and human as a synonym. He views them as animals. The older skins, adult skins, are too tough and thick to make my sail. Therefore, I got the skins of children. At this point, it is impossible to take Gulliver straight anymore. He is a monster, and then he's like, and then routinely talks, and then I got some, I got some chicken, I got some rabbit, and then I got some milk. He doesn't, the problem isn't even that he's done this thing, that is a problem. He doesn't even see it as out of the ordinary. He sees no reason to conceal it. So Gulliver is both the vehicle of a genuine critique. Swift does critique, when he says all the stuff in chapters 5 and 6 of part 4 about how terrible the human race is and how badly people behave, Swift, who's a moral critic, believes all those things. Sometimes he exaggerates for comic effect, but he does in fact buy it. On the other hand, Gulliver himself is being critiqued as much as he can be. Gulliver doesn't actually have the moral standing to be critiquing anybody. His hatred of fellow man allows him to articulate these moral critiques, but his hatred of his fellow man, his dehumanization of his fellow man, an alarming problem for the 18th century and subsequently, makes him morally capable of horrible atrocities. Is this a children's story? You've never seen book 4 in part 4 in a children's story, and if you have, they left a whole lot of things out. Let's go home on the skins of human people. But wait, is that all the irony? Is that as low as it goes? No. This is in chapter 11 when he's rescued, and the nice sailors and the nice captain offer him clothes and food, and he's staying away from them because he thinks they stink, because he hates humankind. Hating humankind might make you might have some points to make, but it doesn't make you a good person. The captain had often entreated me to strip myself of my savage dress and offered to lend me the best suit of clothes he had. This I would not be prevailed upon to accept, abhorring to cover myself with anything that had been on the back of a Yahoo. You know what's been on the back of a Yahoo? Swift loves it. Anus jokes too. There's going to be a whole anus joke video. What's been on the back of a Yahoo? Your boat, dude. You took it off the backs of other human beings. Okay, Gulliver, it's good you're going home, because I'm getting tired of you.